Hey, hey.
All right. Welcome, everybody. This is the Real World Content Team meeting for Tuesday, August 9th. We missed yesterday because I got pulled on a CBS show unexpectedly. It was Rush Call, and I learned some wonderful lesson. The power of casting people who are your fans rather than casting people on a Rush Call or just casting anybody who wants to be in a movie or show. So fandom will supercharge your set, and it'll definitely translate into the final content, because a lot of people on that set did not care at all what the story was, who the characters were, and it's a show that's been running for 4 years. I'm technically not supposed to say the name, but still, like, it's a big deal to see the lack of excitement on that set. So anyway, we got Guru Murtabra, aka Z Peoples here, the wonderful and the one and only. And I'm, of course, Jan. And of course, you can invest in what we're doing on ReelwUrld, and the world's first social film studio. So go to wefunder.com/ReelwUrld. And I really can't stress this enough. Like, it is, community ownership is the thing that we are so focused on. And apparently that's a very Web3 thing. And I do my best not to get too, to not swim too much in the Web3 narrative, because it can be confusing to people. And the reality is that a lot of people actually don't care about Web3. Like a normal person walking around, like, they don't necessarily live a Web3 life. It does not exist for them yet. And the intention with ReelwUrld is to meet people where they actually are. And everything we do comes before technology. The process of creating together comes before technology. I just got off a very long venture capital call stating this. I just want to say, like, we are very Web3 forward. All of our thinking actually is much of it is contained within the Web3 ethos. So we will be making those strides in that direction. But we are first and foremost a company about, like, creating together, about having community experiences, and about being able to tell story that helps us become better people and helps the world elevate. And so, like, that is our core focus. That said, yes, wefunder.com/ReelwUrld. Come and invest in us. That's what we're doing. Justice for Hire, our first show. Come and check us out. Join the cast. Free to join. justiceforhire.com to see everything we're working on there, and justiceforhire.app to join the app. So I'll put links in the description. No, I'll put links in the description and on the little pop-ups you'll see up here. And now we have Mike, aka Sensei Klaus, who just did a wonderful challenge video as well.
Bro, I was just about to say that. I was like, I'm enjoying watching, like, your progress.
Yeah, dude. Last week's video was brilliant. Like, I was mentioning that a few times, Klaus. Like, that was the one where you're talking to yourself as a martial master is, like, totally brilliant.
Cool, thanks. I mean, it needs a lot of work. What I kept on trying to do, but getting rained out for, was shoot in the morning, because I lost a lot of good takes to background noise. So, I'm probably going to try reshooting that again, see if I can get it better. And I realized I could really do the split screen thing better by having I'm using the mixer feature on Video Leap, so I could theoretically do kind of a goofy fight scene by recording the two parts at once and putting them together.
So the question, did you upload to the app that scene from last week?
I didn't upload that because, like I said, I'm not sure if that's going to be the final version or what.
It is brilliant. I don't think you should redo that, because it's so good, unless you were just gonna, like, change a shot or something like that for a particular reason.
Well, like I was saying, I was thinking so the part that I mostly dislike isn't the acting bits, it's the action bits, where I'm doing the split screen thing.
Okay.
I was thinking I would redo that and mix in just two sensei clauses fighting each other. Of course, no contact, because I can't punch myself when I'm not there. but you know, something with a bit more visual interest there than just, you know, some bad kata.
You know
Yeah.
who would be great to talk to surrounding fight scenes with yourself? You should hit up Yulong. Because a lot of his stuff is focused around just himself playing multiple characters and fighting himself. I know he and I were talking about like editing tricks and stuff like that. But yeah, I think he would be someone to reach out to kind of like be like, oh, hey, I wanna make this fight scene look a little bit more believable. Is there anything?
Does he ever mix two of himself into the same scene though? Because that's what I was thinking I'd do.
You'd have to mask and do all that stuff. With a stationary camera, that should be super easy.
I wouldn't need to. So basically, using a stationary camera, what I would just do there is basically shoot using, yeah, basically the mixer function. Essentially, have most of the action take place in the middle, and just have two shots. Yeah, stationary camera, same background. And depending on how the action progresses, I would just cut two shots of the same thing together. So say one is the left side, one's the right side, same background, different action.
So
Totally. The only thing to worry about is lighting. Sorry. Didn't mean to cut you
no,
off.
please.
Yeah, no, the only thing to worry about in that situation would be lighting. You want to make sure it's consistent enough, because if like even a half a shade off, I mean, you can fix it in post with color grading and light balancing and stuff. I mean, you could try, because that's what I did for a scene that is not out yet, but it exists if when Guru finally releases his comic that I gave away at Comic-Con. But I shot a video and I did that same thing where I was in the scene looking at myself in the mirror, and I needed to also have myself like reacting to whatever it was that the real me was doing. And I had come across, even though it was the same time of day, it was the same lights, all of that happened in one smooth shot. The lighting shifted just slightly enough to where you can see there was a clear difference in shots. And all it took for me to fix, thankfully, was adjusting color grading a little bit in one scene, and adjusting the brightness or lighting in post. But again, like sometimes that works. It just depends.
Well, what I would say is I shoot outside. So what it comes down to for me is my usual tactic of just multiple takes for brute force, where the lighting,
I mean, it gets it done.
every day will shift. So my goal there would just be to get at least a couple of takes with the right lighting and just match them to each other.
So I have a suggestion here, because I just watched with my son this weekend, his first time ever seeing it, the very first Batman, 1989 Batman movie. And the way the fight scenes are shot, the hand-to-hand combat fight scenes in the final bell tower scene are shot, can be replicated. They're so tight. You know, it's that old like 80s style action, American action, where you can't really see anything at all. And so the frame for bad guy is at best having like the back of the head. And you don't really need creators coming in. You don't really need another person to do that, to do the action with you. What's going on, creator? We're talking about single person action scenes. David's here at Gay Creator. So all I'm saying is that if I have this shot, you know, and you can see I'm holding the camera up, and I get hit, and like me and the other, if I'm fighting myself, me and the other scene, and I can shoot an example of this, gets hit, you swing here and you come back and you're holding your jaw. As long as you cut with the hand coming toward the camera, somewhat cutting across the lens, and then cut to a shot of the reaction shot, meaning that, and this is where like the 180-degree line is going to come into play, meaning that, you know, if you have one person here and one person here, the camera would be on one side and then the other side. It would not flip to this side or that side, because that'll break the visual space that you've constructed. People break it all the time on social media, but they break it because they don't know. And as social media and filmmaking evolves, the people are going to come right back to all these core principles. So all I'm getting at is that if you just keep, you know, if you're playing one guy, cameras over your left shoulder. If you're playing the other guy, cameras over your right shoulder at all times for this one fight, to simplify it. And you know, you can just hold, you know, like cut, and then the other guy takes it. You know, so if you were in the event you want to do something that felt, and I don't believe Yu Long has done anything like that.
Not handheld, but there were some. I think at least in the first or second episode,
because he's done a bunch of fighting himself.
Oh,
yeah. And I think
what you were describing.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at in terms of like, if you wanted to have a more visceral, because
you should make this an actual tutorial. You like I think it would behoove us to have this tutorial available for those who want to be able to fight, because like I think we're coming across this sort of same
it's a challenge that people are having.
Yeah, challenge. Yeah, say roadblock.
This guy, Dark Phantom, has just posted a video on the app for the superhero kung fu extravaganza, and it's him doing an action scene on his own in his room, you know. And so like his head is cut off, and it's wonderful effort, you know. It's wonderful effort, and he's like, hey, I may not be very good, but I have the speed and strength, you know. He like writes this cool little thing under there. So it's like the people have the spirit, and I agree with you, Guru. The thing to do might be to just shoot a little tutorial on so that it's easily replicated. And so I will, let me write that down, because that's probably important. It's something that we've needed probably for a fairly long time, how to shoot an action scene by yourself. There's always the selfie uppercut.
100%. Well, because I mean, not everyone, you know, like I think about it, not everyone, nor will I always have access to like stuntmen or, you know, someone willing to take a punch. But yeah, I think having that would be beneficial for everyone in the community, so not only do they get some guidance and like a way to facilitate whatever they're trying to make, but they can build upon it and become better. And like, and eventually someone's, I'm gonna say plural, because, you know, it could be multiple people eventually having like a good flow to how they do their fights. And that becomes something else that other people can pick up, just like with TikTok transitions and all of this stuff that are on there. Like, as the community starts to share how they made those things, you could see a lot more people putting in the effort to try it. Then you see more people being creative about it, and then you get a natural evolution to it until it becomes a piece of what happens. Like we just did a photo shoot, and for the behind the scenes shots, I was doing random transitions. You know, like it wasn't you know, the standard, like, this is just behind the scenes, and then we're gonna see this scene, and you know, it was like and we're coming up, and we're gonna see the person, and then whoo, and we swipe away, and we're on a new look, you know, or like, oh my gosh, this is so cool, so dynamic. What new outfit, you know, something that gave more. But yeah, all of that will help evolve our community.
You just inspired me on the thinking of like using frame within a frame to hide. For example, you place the camera. We have a hallway here, and so place the camera at the end of the hallway, and the hallway's in the shot. But of course, if I were to walk by the hallway, there's only a sliver of the hallway on screen, of the opening on screen, where I walk past, and then I'm hidden again. So I go from hidden to seen to hidden. And in that same shot, you can just leave the camera there. You can either leave it rolling or cut. You probably leave it rolling. I could slide on the floor being hurt and then go change, throw another outfit, and then like do a big bad guy walk in the same direction as if I just kicked me in the other direction. So there's lots of fun things to think about here.
100%. Even that little thing too. You could film all of one side, so you could get all of you're like, oh, I'm getting hit, or oh, I'm sliding down the hallway. You can get all those, and then you can go back and switch all your outfits, and then film out the other side of it. That way, you have same energy, continuity, and things like that. So, because 100%. I'm right there with you. I did that when I first started doing TikTok, like right before the pandemic. I had done a Dadpool video, and it was my character, like the first character comes in. I think it was Deadpool. He's like, "Do you want to help me hide a body?" And then I had another character that was in a completely different outfit, still Deadpool's head, and he looks up and goes, "What?" And so there was like an exchange back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And I had filmed one side in like the first scene. I filmed the first part, and then I changed outfits, filmed the second. Then I switched back and filmed the next part. Then I switched back and filmed the one after that. And it got a little like dizzying. But then again, this is what I said. Like people in that community started sharing their tips and their tricks for how they did certain things.
Oh, this is the covering the hand thing that you were talking about, right?
Yeah. I mean, given that is more structured towards, TikTok's, editing software, but the similar idea of filming one side, continuously getting it, and then flipping over into your new costume, filming that, and then get all of that completed piece. Yeah. And then moving from there. But yeah, I love it.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about this. But I mean, Sensei, to bring it back to your video from last week, it was brilliant. Like, if there was anything that you were going to redo, the only thing that was challenging is the audio, and the audio. You sent over a file. If you were to send over, let's say, a high. There's two ways to solve the audio, and some audio is very hard to solve if it's like really really low. I'm not sure if you threw any filters on it, but I know Video Leap does not have the types of filters that I wish it did have for audio.
Use CapCut. Use CapCut.
CapCut?
Yeah, that is the newest standard between social medias. It blends well with TikTok, blends well with IG. You can there has different transitions, has different filters. It has audio filters. The only thing I couldn't find was something to take care of the background noise. But because I have another program that I use to get rid of the background noise. Yeah.
Well, the alternative. I was just looking at CapCut. Thank you. I'll check it out. The alternative, Mike, could also be to use Video Leap or another editing software to do a voiceover. And essentially this is ADR, it's called, which is normally not like it stands for automatic dialogue replacement, ADR. And ADR, the process of that is the funny thing is that it's normally not automatic at all, and that the sound designer has to sit there and painstakingly, resync the voiceover to the image. We have a sound designer for JFH, but I like to minimize the work that he has to do. So like I ADR'd with Max and Rami, aka KO and Dread, we ADR'd our entire episode 4 of JFH. That like the whole thing is ADR. So, and this because the sound was so tough. We're gonna have to do that with you know a few scenes. What I'm getting at is that Video Leap might be your mouth is covered. You know, it's hard to see your mouth for the most part moving because of the beard. So it might be easier for you rather than to be too concerned about the audio, to just completely unlink. There's a button that when you go into when you tap the
just
you are
dub
using
over
Video
it.
Leap, right? If you're using Video Leap, Mike, there's a button to unlink the audio, and then you can just delete the audio from that particular shot, or you can leave it and throw your voiceover on top of it and use it as like a reference track. But I'm not sure how dynamic Video Leap can do that. But I've done voiceovers before, but never for ADR purposes on there. But you could do it; it's totally possible. And all you do is press the record button, say your line, and press stop, and then you'll have cleaner audio.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely doable. Would save me a fair bit of trouble because I think I was telling you, Ruben he saw the handstand video, he wants to borrow my terrace. And I was telling him, you know, getting good takes can kind of a nightmare. So that could be handy for that project too. Like right now, I've got 2 different ambulances on 2 different streets near me.
Do you have 2 different ambulances right now?
Yeah, there's something about this intersection that just makes it constant noise from about 2 to 8.
Wow.
So I like shoot in the mornings.
Wow. Okay. So, all right. Well, I mean,
That can be really handy just in general.
well, man, I mean, let us know how we can be helpful. Like, I think the content really lasts. Let me just look at it again. I mean, I just remember it being so good and so impressive. And it was, I honestly thought it was a real testament to how strong the character is. You know, that like it was very, very, yeah, I'm watching it right now. Yeah, man, no, like this stuff, this split screen, is this the stuff you want to redo?
Mostly little action bits. The dialogue I thought came out okay for the most part.
Okay, when you say the action bits, the only action I'm seeing is you doing. Am I missing? Is it? Do you mean where you're doing form?
Yeah, up top.
I mean, I think it's hilarious and awesome. But if you were, you know, like, you know, if you have something that you think is going to be a level up from that to just replace those top shots to being, you know, go for it. But like, you know, it's pretty dope, concept.
Tell you what, I'll put this on the app, call the finished version for now. I'll try my other idea just to see how well it executes at this point. And the stuff you guys were talking about with shooting you over the shoulder and whatnot, I think that actually has a place in the Nike video more so than this.
Just to, but before we move on to that, so if you're going to upload the video, I will say this, like, I mean, you upload it as is. If you feel good about it, then just go for it. If you were going to try the audio, the ADR, I would go for that because 2 things. Is this, I'm perceiving this, and maybe I'm perceiving it wrong, as this is your entry into the Urban Action Showcase, right?
Yeah, it's very loosely modeled after we talked about last time, the
5 Deadly Venoms.
Shaw Brothers
Yes.
style versus style hypothetical thing they do.
So like, I think that that your audio is going to be so important. And it's going to be so important because you have a bunch of people who are going to be in that room, judges, etc., who have to a certain extent no idea what JFH is, or maybe they have a general idea, but this is going to be an example of what to expect from our community. And your dialogue one, bad dialogue is bad dialogue, and it's going to be hard for everyone to hear. I mean, not bad dialogue, like bad audio is bad audio. So you have challenging audio, but the dialogue you have is so good, meaning that it is such a great example of character development, depth of understanding of what your character is, and how that interconnects into the larger your larger universe, and how one person's larger universe can connect to Justice for Hire. I think it's actually an amazing example. And the make or break for your piece is going to be the audio, because it doesn't matter how like that you shot it on your phone and it's split screen, and Demetrius is wondering how it's going to look it's going to look great on in the theater because it'll play in the AMC. The thing that's going to really get people is going to be the comedy and the absurdity of the dialogue you currently have. So like I would do, if like, this is a direct ask, if you can go into Videoleap, if that's what you're using, and try that voiceover button. I can show you right now if you're not sure where it is, and just try to redo your dialogue. It's going to you know where it is?
I'm not 100%. Let me just
I'll show you right now. I'll send you a little screen record.
Yeah, that's perfect.
And it's recording right now. I'll just pull it up and I'll throw it right in the chat.
Because I thought that would be under audio.
So it's not under audio. Is it? Yeah, it is under audio. It's right there. And then I press voiceover, and then I press record, and I'm like blah blah blah.
Okay, so when I'm on audio, I get the option music and sound effects.
There we go. It's going right now. And then I'm going to stop it. I'm going to undo this, and I'm going to. So I'm just going to share this right into the cast chat right now for you.
All right, perfect. So just real quick though, canonically, right? In terms of how it actually works.
Oh,
I don't.
David just said something.
What?
David just said Splice makes voice notes. Apparently, something called Splice. I'm sorry. You keep going going. Well, I'll check out Splice too, man. Thank you.
Oh yeah, I was just saying that what the scene actually represents, and don't get me wrong, it's perfectly fine to take it on this surreal level. But what it actually is, practically speaking, is if you're a martial artist, you have to think about how to beat yourself. What are your own weaknesses? So if you take away, the goofy animal stuff and talking to himself, that's what it actually is he's just thinking, what are the weaknesses in my own martial arts, but it's a lot funnier the other way.
That's actually great. That's great framing for like, like a dream sequence, etc., of like you fighting yourself.
Well, that's
like,
basically what it is. Just, using the Shaw Brothers style versus style thing as, a prompt or a framework.
It's great. And these, I feel like ever since we've shifted more into the martial narrative, these have become way, like, the inspiration level of each one of these calls just keeps on elevating. So I'm loving this, man. Well, guys, I mean, for this week, in terms of like everything again is Urban Action Showcase focused. We've moved our deadline. I spoke to Demetrius last Thursday, and we moved the deadline to September 9th. So to give people a little bit more time, especially since we just came off Comic-Con, and we gotta figure out some way. We have to get the word out. We gotta get the message out, and it needs to be exciting. And I think that
I know a couple of us have filmed a a blurb for the Urban Action Showcase. I think if we made one for Justice for Hire in general.
You mean in terms of to promote the Urban Action Showcase JFH event?
Well, we were doing that. Didn't we do that last week?
Last week.
I mean, I kind of made my own and then then just posted
Yes. Yeah, last week you did that awesome hammer one, right?
Yes.
So yeah, that was great. I think that I think what's really valuable is just seeing action, you know, and whether that's, I think like a clip, for example, Z, of your fight scene last year with your buddy, your COVID fight scene.
Yeah.
You know, like just seeing that is a great, like, oh man, like, hey, check it out. This is what I did. Maybe that's the thunderclap for this week, is to be like, hey, last year I did this and that, and this year we're doing it again. It's going to be bigger than ever. And like being able to maybe even do a voiceover. It's not really a voiceover. It's really more so like if you have
narrated.
If you say, hey, last year I did this, and this year.
Last year I did this.
Exactly. Yeah, and like just being, and each one of you guys had a strong entry last year. So I think it's just really being able to like to take that clip and just be like, hey, you know, like come this year and join us for the next one. So like, you know, if you could post your clip from last year with a direct address that says last year I did this year it's going to be even bigger, join us. I think that's like the thing. And please tag as a collaborator Justice for Hire, and we'll share. And this video could be like 15-30 seconds long. You know, it does not have to be long at all. We just need to make sure that we're getting widening the messaging as much as possible.
Absolutely. Sorry, I felt like there was something I was going to even add to that or ask you, but I can't think of it now.
Did you guys feel good about that as a?
I think it's a great idea. I
as a thunderclap
idea for a thunderclap. Yeah, I mean, it's something super simple that we can do. We can use what we've already created. Yeah.
Awesome.
It's a little like what I did last week, only I didn't do the voiceover. I just put a clip up.
Well, this is going to be interesting because we like the thunderclaps. We're going to be able to, if you guys each post if you all do it at the same time, we're going to see something. We're going to be able to measure something, because we don't normally do like different perspectives on one thing. We're normally all posting one thing, or if it is different perspectives, it's coming at different times. If everyone posts at the same time with this, the interesting thing about it is we'll be able to really measure how one piece of content leverages the other. And like that is actually the entire point of the thunderclaps, is that everybody has like the same message, but they're doing something, you know, from their own perspective. And there's actually an entire app based around this now called Be Real. And they're doing something that essentially is thunderclaps, except everybody taking a photo all across the world at the same time. And like, where are you right now? And so, I mean, I'm not on there, but you know, we'll see. But yeah, guys. So let's focus on that. And you know, if like for the weekly content, whatever you're already working on that's of value, just keep on going there. And if there's something you're not working on, you know, please jump into a challenge. But everything really should be focused on the keep on losing Sensei. He lost and came back, and I hope we lost him again. But yeah, guys, super grateful for you. Any thoughts, ideas on how on what we talked about today, or how we can make this process better?
No, I mean, everything felt good. I like the direction we're going. I was trying to remember if there the thing I was gonna say to you, but I'll just message you if I remember.
Okay. Okay, guys. Well, thank you so much. Mike, we're wrapping up right now. But essentially, it's the thunderclap with your something from last year. And if you're working on anything from the week, just continue with that. Otherwise, jump onto a challenge, ideally a Marshall challenge.
Oh, I already did a challenge of the home gym thing.
Yes, saw it. It's great. And yeah, so just go for it, and please post the stuff on the app, and let me know if you need any help with the voiceover. If you need any, I put the video into the chat.
Same. If you need any help with voiceover, don't hesitate to reach out.
Cheers. I'll give it a shot, then see what I need to know.
Okay.
Awesome, guys. Thank you.
To
Guys.
close
Love
this
you.
out, I want to give y'all a beautiful view. See if I can do it. There you go.
Wow, you're in Hawaii right now?
Yeah, this is the view from my balcony right now. This is where I just had our meeting.
That is top notch. Top notch experience. What part of Hawaii?
The Big Island, so near Kona.
Nice, man. Oh,
Yeah.
hold on, you're in Kona?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, do you want to meet up with my push hands teammate,
Oh, hell yeah.
Jordan Forth?
Yeah.
Dude, he's one of the best on the planet. I'm
Yes.
gonna message you and Jordan right now. His family's fantastic.
Fabulous.
Oh, he's wonderful. Okay, I'm very
Thanks.
excited about this.
Appreciate it.
Okay, love you guys.
Love you too.
Thank you, guys.
Thank
Awesome.
you.